Hi, this is Dr. Naidu, and I'm making this somewhat overdue video about textured implants. And I wanted to give you an idea of some of the items that have been going on with the textureds and why one textured implant in particular has been pulled from the market in the United States and what the issues are, because a lot of people have been asking about this. So in the United States, we have three different main silicone manufacturers. These are Allergan, which uses the trademark Natrel for their implants, Mentor, and Sientra. So they each have both smooth and textured silicone implants. So I want to just show you the implants. So this is an Allergan or a Natrel implant. This is their textured surface. And as you can see, it's got kind of a bumpy surface. It's easier to feel than to see. But this is what provides a little bit of stick to the tissue so that the implant doesn't move around when it goes into the chest. The next company is Mentor, and their implant is also textured but a little bit smoother if you feel it to the touch. And then the third one is Sientra, and this again has a different textured surface. So each of these manufacturers uses a different technology, which they keep as proprietary information about their texturing mechanism. So here is the issue. Around the world, including in the United States, there has been a very rare form of lymphoma that's been linked to this texturing surface. And the etiology is not exactly clear, but there's some concern that some of the texturing is creating a reaction, an inflammatory reaction within the body in patients who are predisposed, who then go on to develop a lymphoma many, many years afterwards, 7 to 8 years after their implant surgery. And typically they'll present with unilateral swelling of a breast with a sudden increase in fluid around the breast implant. And if it's caught early enough and the implant and the capsule around the implant are removed, this is potentially curable. It's not a breast cancer, it is a lymphoma. And there does appear to be a genetic predisposition. So in Australia and New Zealand, there have been the highest number of cases. In the United States, it's approximately 1 in 30,000 of textured implants that are put in. This number is becoming somewhat higher for one of the manufacturers, Allergan, which, as I mentioned, manufactures under Natrel, and therefore the FDA made the decision to request a recall of this implant back in July of 2019. So this implant is no longer on the market. The two textured implants that are still on the market in the United States are Mentor and Sientra. And both of these come in both round textured, such as Mentor, and the anatomic, which is also the teardrop implant. So I'm only showing one for each manufacturer here, but both manufacturers have both styles in textured implants. They also have their typical smooth round implants. So just to show you what the textured surface looks like a little bit closer up, this is the Natrel implant, and I'm trying to show you the surface. So you can see it's that kind of bumpy surface. It's irregular, and it's meant to prevent capsular contracture or scar tissue around the implant. Now compare this to the Mentor implant, which also, this is their textured surface, but it's much, much smoother, as you can see. So in my opinion, the benefit of that is that we don't have as many issues, potentially, to our knowledge, with lymphoma formation, but it also doesn't stick to the tissues quite as well. So it's not my favorite textured implant for that reason. The one I use is, whenever I do need to use textured, is Sientra. And again, that is a much more textured surface, but you can see it's quite different from the other two. And I'll pull back the Natrel one again, just so you can see the difference between all these textures. See if we can get you in focus. There you go. So this is the current status of textured devices. In most countries around the world, this one has now been pulled from the market. Mentor is available around the world. Sientra is available in the United States, and there's another brand called Silamed, which is very similar, which is available around the world. But these are the main three implants available in the United States. But as I mentioned, the Natrel is no longer available. These two are available. There has been a lot of confusion and concern about textured implants, so I recommend that if you have more questions, please ask your plastic surgeon. We have all the data. It's up to date. And you can also go to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration website. That's also extremely helpful. For that, you go to www.fda.gov and search under breast implants. So thank you so much for watching and for your interest. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks.